pretty general question about what steps you would all take to tackle the housing crisis. Sian, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, housing is one of the things I really work on as a London Assembly member. It was the issue of the London mayor elections last year. And it's really clear what London needs. London needs more council homes. And actually, the government should be providing these. They pay for themselves. A study this year has shown that if you were to build just, 100,000 council homes a year, you'd get that money back within just a few years in savings in housing benefit, because a lot of the housing benefit goes to private landlords who are charging higher rents because they can, and a lot of working people who live in private rented accommodation are being paid, having their rent paid by housing benefit. This policy pays for itself, and it's a mystery to me why the government is so against council homes, because it's forced councils to sell them off. It's not allowing them to borrow to invest in council homes. And like I say, council homes, they don't just pay for themselves and save benefits, they pay for themselves because council tenants pay rent. So you get the money back. You can borrow against that income, but the government has put an artificial cap on councils in order to do that. So the answer to how we get more affordable housing is pretty simple. We need to restore grants to councils, we need to lift the borrowing cap, and we need to put public land into this. We've got some amazing bits of land in London that are coming up for redevelopment. We've got St Anne's Hospital site in Haringey. We've got Holloway Prison, which really ought to be a centre for women to find housing, women who currently are paying ridiculous amounts and cannot live. And we ought to be housing our public sector workers on this land as well. Lord Harris, the review of our preparedness for terrorist attacks, his #1 recommendation was to find more homes for key workers in London, because more than half of our police officers actually have to live outside the capital at the moment. And this is true of nurses, this is true of other public sector workers in the NHS, teachers as in particular are living outside of London as well. And so we need to solve this within London, and it's not that difficult. We can get the money for it, we have the land, we just need to get away from the big developers, and that's, I think, the problem. The Conservatives are much too close to the big developers, and the big developers want to make the maximum profit, and that's why we end up with public land going out and seeing big tower blocks going up, which are full of beautiful luxury flats that Londoners can just stare up at and never afford. It's completely unjust, it's a waste of land, and we absolutely have to sort it out.